why am I speaking to this mic? It doesn't even work.
It's for the aesthetic, Zane. It's for the aesthetic.
The aesthetic.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm looking for the outline. Where was the outline
It's
from?
a few messages ago.
There we go. So welcome to. What am I touching this for? Get out of here. Welcome to episode 2. Do you want a partner? Supposedly this was a Bollywood song.
You want a partner?
You don't know the song, Zane?
So growing up, I didn't watch Bollywood. My parents were a little strict, so like a lot of like what you guys talk about, right, with the whole Bollywood stuff, like I have no idea. I'm the most whitewashed deity there is.
I literally watched a Bollywood last night in theaters, and about 10 minutes into the movie, my friend like leans over and she's like, "That's you and Zane from your podcast." And the movie is about two dudes whose like job it is to break up couples.
What movie is this?
Yo,
Tu Juti Main Makkar. It just came out earlier this month.
Was she saying because of the vibe, or do we actually break people up? We've only done one podcast. I hope we didn't break anybody up. I don't think we said anything that would break anybody up.
Part of it is the vibe of like, oh, we're like giving dating advice or like correcting dating advice. The other part of it is the dude has an immaculate beard, and so do you.
Okay, thank you.
And then the third part is one of the plot points in the movie that they just like drop halfway through is this guy is trying to break up with his girlfriend. But the other guy, who she said was me, is not helping him at all, even though that's his job. And so he like accidentally gets engaged and then accidentally gets married and then accidentally has a kid.
Interesting. All right. Though I would love a podcast that's made for breaking up couples. It'll keep matchmakers, some of us present, in business. So anyway,
on today's episode, how to break up with your significant other.
Or do you want a partner?
Yeah.
Let's start with
your
Kiki's
host.
text. Yeah, with your host. Oh, Zane.
Kiki.
And Akio.
Alrighty.
Okay, we got this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the text that I got,
Kiki's text.
Mm-hmm.
Kiki's text corner.
was my perspective on dating, marriage, how to find the right spouse in the Muslim community. So we shall start with that.
Sure.
Cool.
Both of you are spouses in the Muslim community. So let's start with those.
I think a great question I like to now ask, like a lot of us want to be married or have a companion or have a partner, but what's really stopping you from being married? And don't say, oh, I haven't found the right person yet.
Oh, I was going to say nobody likes me. That's the reason I'm not married.
Yo, 100. Like, I would say this: find the right partner. Let's keep it to the text, right?
Mm-hmm.
My question is like, what are you doing every day? Actually, Kiki, why don't you start? Like, why did you ask the question you asked based on that text?
Because I think we get in our own way half the time. So it's like, how are we getting in our own way? And like, you have to know how you're getting in your own way to stop that so that you can actually like get to the finish line and say like marriage is that end goal. So like, how do you get to that finish line? And what are you doing to stop yourself from getting there? And instead of blaming it on the outside, external world, people, let's talk internal.
That's interesting. I do feel like we're on separate wavelengths. You having met people and me just staying at my home, being a hermit. I feel like depending on the person's situation, it's a much different. Because like the way you like ask that question, I'm just like, well, my issue and a lot of people's issue is like just getting out and meeting people, right? Starting a hobby, networking, maybe volunteering, right? One of the things I say is if you're having trouble just meeting good people, period, don't. Let me start with the negative first. Don't use any apps. Okay, just delete them. If they're like, this is the best advice. Just delete them. Just don't, unless you live in some isolated part of North Dakota, right? Don't use apps. Okay. Um, Other than
Find
that,
yourself a matchmaker. I'm a matchmaker on In
yeah,
Pairs.
sure. Oh, even better. Because the apps, they're random. You might as well use a matchmaker who knows both people and could see if y'all match, right? Rather than like using an app. But to meet people, I say go volunteer at the mosque, right? And don't volunteer with the intentions of meeting someone. Volunteer in something that you actually like doing, right? And people you shine when you do that, and people naturally be attracted to you. And this is not just volunteer, but if you start a new hobby, or you just starting a new hobby, streaming, right? TikTok. I know Akil with that 50,000 viewers, probably someone slid into your DMs, right? So you shine when you do what you like, and then you don't have that unnecessary stress or anxiety when you go to a formal event like a matchmaking event or a formal meetup or whatever these what matrimonial services offer, because that stress is gone. You're just doing what you like, and if people see you, they like you, and then, you know, I said way too many times.
That's fine.
They start talking to you, and then hopefully you could further progress from there. That's what the hermits. That's what the hermits.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you with the volunteering, but volunteering with the intent to express yourself, to do something that you actually care about. I'm going to drag my parents into this podcast real quick, because they met in the Students Association at their university, both volunteering in the Students Association. That's how they met. That's how they got to know each other. And eventually they got married. And so I became the president of the Students Association, same school, 30 years later, whatever, with the intent to be like, all right, I'm going to meet people. I'm going to find somebody. It did not work out. And I think I kind of took your advice to the extreme, and I got too invested in the work of the Students Association. Okay. So I ended up making more enemies than friends because I was taking it a little bit too seriously. But yeah, but after that, I've moved around a lot. I move like every 2 or 3 years, and volunteering in the religious spaces, volunteering in religious education, because I'm a religious educator. Like, that's what I've been doing for the last 10 years. But volunteering in those spaces, making yourself present, is the best way to meet people. Now, whether those are people that you're going to end up with or just friends that you're going to keep, it's like that's a second part of it. But like, if you want to meet people, networking, if you can network, but if you can't network, just show up and volunteer, and you will find people.
Yeah, no, I agree with that, because like you already have your common interests, so it's like easy to build off of that, because you're coming in with some shared values from some extent, and that's like, you know, you can build off of that versus like, hey, what's your favorite color? Yes, I like this in your profile. Oh, your second picture is so nice. Like, these are all superficial things.
Wait, was that really a conversation you've had?
No. Nobody. I would never. If somebody asked me my favorite color, I'd be like, "We are way past that. If we're in our 30s, like we are not doing this."
No, but like everything else, is that what people are actually? Is that the conversation?
I feel like
definitely want to slide into someone's. Into someone's DM and be like, "Hey, what's your favorite dinosaur?"
I will say this: something my boy told me. Watch with Neves from Slum Nerds podcast. Shout out to them. He said anything could be a dating app if you have the audacity. So LinkedIn is very good. So, you know, try it.
I remember I used to go around asking like everyone this question, where it was like, what's your last favorite bite? Or like, what's the weirdest? Actually, that was the question too. The actual question was, what's something other people find weird that you like? to do
Mm.
or whatever, like whether it's like food wise or just doing. And I remember one person that I matched with, he was like, I like to drink chocolate milk in the shower.
That's so
What?
weird. Why would he admit to that? Why would you admit to that? Why would you admit to that?
Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Did you end up like learning something interesting and well, that's interesting, but like useful about him from that conversation? Or was it just like, okay, you're a weird person that accidentally drinks soap sometimes. So like,
I don't remember their name. I don't remember what they look like. All I remember is the fact that they drink chocolate milk in the shower.
Okay, so we need a middle ground between what's the weirdest thing about you and what's your favorite color. I think going back to Zane's point from a little bit ago about being like a presence on the internet and having an internet personality, and people have been sliding into my DMs. People are still sliding into my DMs. No, thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Okay.
Did you just turn on an echo on your mic?
No. Did I have an echo?
Yeah.
I have an echo?
Like...
No. Zane was just in a studio for like 2 seconds, like a concert hall. It happened again. There's boots in this podcast. Okay. Yeah, but like when I make content, I'm making content for an audience. So I'm not expressing who I am. I'm expressing who the commenters and people want me to be. So when people slide into my DMs on that, they're like, oh, you seem like you're so fun to hang out with, or like you're so interesting and in depth on topics and I could talk to you for forever. And I'm like, it's scripted, right? This is an act. That this is not who I am, right? And it's
interesting, because the reason I brought that up was because shout out to Muslim Gamers Discord, right? A lot of them, because they had a shared interest in playing video games together, they got married. But there's one specific Twitch streamer I'm thinking about. Her real name is Sarah. I cannot say her Twitch stream name. It's Hijabawakis, right? And she met her husband playing Call of Duty, right? And I thought that was cute. So when I say put yourself out there online, I'm not necessarily talking about content creation, but I'm talking about more like
doing things you like playing video games.
Things you like, yes.
Joining groups of things that you like, right?
I remember. Present. Does anyone remember Clubhouse?
Yes.
Yeah. And like there were people that married off of Clubhouse. They like got to know each other and then they went and got married. And like it was an app that was just like, you went to the rooms that made sense to you and people found each other.
I mean, that's what people do on TikTok. They book flights, fly for many miles, and then get ditched at the airport. But sometimes it has worked. Right? Yeah, they were supposed to get picked up. You haven't seen those TikTok videos?
I have not seen those TikToks.
Oh, man.
I hear that happening to a lot of guys more than I hear it happening to women. But it's like the guy that goes out to like see the girl, it's like they're like, yeah, the girl's gone. Like, I don't know where she is. And it's like I feel so bad because I'm like, you just spent like $400 on a ticket and then you probably like booked a hotel for the weekend. And it's like, what do you do? That sucks.
Yeah, foolproof plan. You have to time your visit around a conference. So if that happens, like for example, a video game conference or a fighting game tournament conference, right? Or even an Islamic conference, right? Plan your stuff around events. Like for example, if you're going Gen Con, to all my board game geeks, right? It's in Indiana. You meet someone in Indiana. You fly to Indiana. They ditch you. They ghost you. It's fine. You're going to Gen Con anyway. Yeah. Right. So plan around activities.
Or the easier way is just slide into the DMs of people who live in interesting cities.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I don't mind spending a week in Toronto if I get ditched. There's other things to do there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair
but
enough,
if I slide into the DMs of Raleigh, North Carolina,
I knew you were going there.
Then I go there. I say hi to my friends. The boot's back. I say hi to my friends, and then I leave.
Okay, so let's bring it back to how to find the right spouse in the Muslim community. Right. I think there's no thing as like the right spouse. I feel like that saying like, you know, putting the whole saying like, oh, I'm just looking for the perfect partner. I'm just looking for, I just want the perfect marriage my parents had. Like putting that perfection label on these things actually is what kind of keeps us away from finding, you know, what we're meant for or whatever. What is your take on that?
Would you consider it like, don't find the perfect person, don't find the perfect spouse, but find the perfect match, right? The person doesn't have to be perfect, but like you need to be able to work together to like fill in the gaps in each other's lives and stuff like that, or at least like have the potential to do that. You're not like butting heads and there's not like serious gaps in the beginning.
For me, I think it's not about finding the perfect match. It's just seeing like your compatibility and also understanding how you guys work with conflict resolution. Like the biggest thing right now that is what I guess, you know, makes people break up or divorce. It's like nobody knows how to navigate conflict resolution. Like everyone's just like, hands up, I'm out, bye. And I don't think that matters with the perfect match or not.
So when I said match, I think I'm leaning more towards what you said, compatibility, right?
Compatibility.
It's the actions that line up, the intentions that line up, not necessarily like who the person is or what they do or what they have done.
I think one of the issues is a lot of times when we go to halakas or a lot of these classes, like how to find a spouse, right? And they're like, you can marry someone for the money, for the beauty, marry them for your religion, right? So then in our heads, we decide to choose like someone who's super religious, but we may not be a suitable match for them, right? And but what I mean by that, you just may not like them. And what I mean by that is like during the Prophet ﷺ's time, right? There were women who went to him and they were like, yo, I like that guy over there, right? Because he was their wali, right? He said, like, I should have had the sources up, but at one point he says, I'm everyone's wali, right? But he did do matchmaking, right? And women would come and be like, yo, I like that guy, right? So they didn't necessarily, the Prophet being the best of creation, right? There was women that weren't interested in him, went up to him and asked him, yo, I like that guy, right? So think about your suitability. You're not looking for that perfect Muslim, right? You're looking for who is with you, right? I hate that term halal haram ratio. I understand what it means. I really do hate that term. Because it suggests things that you're a bad person and you also do haram things. That's not necessarily true. It's just you're at a different level of religiosity, I like that word, than others may be, right? And you have a different lifestyle. So that's to keep in mind. Also, if people only focus on religion, don't focus on lifestyles. If you're from some upper level of the financial ladder and you're marrying someone way lower than you, right? You gotta understand that's a lifestyle shift, right? If you're used to luxuries. I'm not saying they're not worth getting married to. I'm saying, are you willing to make that lifestyle shift? And if you're not, then I don't think it's suitable, right? But if you are, go ahead. So there's a lot to take into account.
Yeah, absolutely.
I actually hate the financial question when people are like, oh, how much money do you make? Or like girls asking guys. I don't think that's what we should be looking at. It's not about how much someone's bringing to the table, but but more so it's like, okay, let's talk about how we handle finances in general. Like there's a bigger question out there versus do you make six figures or not? I hate that. It's like that shouldn't be what you're looking at.
Yeah. It's not like how much money do you make? How much money do you have? It's like if money is something that's important to you, then be like, how do you spend your money? Do you budget? Are you living within your means? How much debt are you carrying? Are you paying that off? Stuff like that. It's like, can we, if you have money and I don't have money, or if we both have money, or if we both have money, can we make that work? Right?
Yeah. Because so many divorces are based off of finances.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily just they're going through hardship, it's lifestyle too, right? For example, I live a comfortable life. But if you're a person who likes to travel every 3 weeks, Yeah, that's not going to work. Even though I have the money for Alhamdulillah, I don't like spending my money like that. I'm not traveling every 3 weeks. I don't roll like that. So even when someone has that money, they may not want to spend their money like that, right? So that's also to keep in mind. Like, what do you spend your money on, right? Do you spend your money on luxuries even though you could afford them, or you don't, right? So these are things to keep track of.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know, like all these buzzwords that are out in today's society, like gaslighting, breadcrumbing, love bombing, ghosting, and like now there's like slow fade, quiet quitting, and what else? I could go on and on. But or even like basic words that I used to see pop up in a lot of dating profiles was where like the guy or girl would be like, "Oh, I'm family oriented." I actually hated that. I hated when I saw that, only because I was like, are you actually, or do you just like saying that and like labeling yourself as that? Like, what is that? Like, if you live 30 minutes away from your family and you see them once every 3 to 4 weeks, are you really actually family oriented? No.
Yeah, be specific. Like, for example, I hate one of my friends. He's like, people really need to be specific when they say they like the outdoors. Most girls, when they say they like the outdoors, they mean buying an ice cold coffee, sitting on a park bench and talking. He likes to go biking for 80 kilometers and camp, right?
Yeah.
He had a very bad experience because he misunderstood what that person meant. So don't just say outdoorsies, be specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like family values, like I would consider myself like being family oriented, but like I talk to my family once a week. I visit my parents once or twice a year, right? But when I do, I enjoy that time. I spend time with them. I love my family. I take care of my family, but like I'm not with them every day. So does that mean I'm family oriented, or does that mean I'm not family oriented? Right?
Yeah. Be specific, people.
Be specific.
Yeah.
And not only specific in what you say, but like why you have those values or why you're looking for those attributes, right? So am I looking for someone that has family values because I want to have like a bunch of kids and I want them to take care of the kids? Or am I looking for someone that has family values because I do, and like that's something that they should bring to the table, right?
Yeah, which brings us to the second part of the podcast. So I was on FaceTime with my friend who asked me a question abruptly out of nowhere. And my response apparently was shocking to them because apparently other people respond very generically to this, which I also don't believe. The answer to this question changes based on who you're talking to. I don't think that's like a thing. Your answer to this question remains the same regardless of who you're talking to, regardless of who you're interested in. What do you bring to the table? Personally, I've asked this question once, and I don't think you should go around asking every person you're talking to what you bring to the table. Because as human beings, when we have too many options, we get confused and we're like, oh, the grass must continuously be getting greener if we keep on going. That's not the case. But what I found very interesting in this was how girls were responding to this question. And I'll share my answer to this question first. I'm bringing warmth. I'm bringing a cozy feeling, kind of similar to a blanket wrapped over you, where you feel safe. I'm turning a house into a home filled with memories where you feel loved, cared for. I'm bringing fun and a hint of chaos because I'm bringing the good, I'm bringing the bad, I'm bringing my mind. But that's me. Some people are more practical, therefore sometimes they need numbers to understand, like, hey, this is how much money I'm bringing to the table. I don't think that captures your heart. That doesn't capture your soul. So my friend heard stuff like, I'm bringing independence, I'm bringing financial security, I'm bringing, very like, I guess, I don't want to say it, like, don't take me the wrong way, but masculine energy.
I have a thing about stupid questions, right? Because just like we should be specific with our profiles, be specific with the questions. You know what? Kiki did make a video about this, and I did comment on it, which he ignored, which is fine. But how to answer the question, what to bring to the table? Kiki, could you say, because you said your answer never changes. So let's see, has your answer changed? And what is your answer today?
What I bring to the table?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. I love this question. Only because it kind of highlights some of your values to some extent, or like what life will look like with you also. So I think for me, what I bring to the table, I bring warmth, I bring a cozy feeling, like a kind of like a blanket where it's like, you know, I'm going to bring things that spark joy in our life, in my life, your life, and stuff like that. That's like in a nutshell what I'm bringing.
And
I'm not, yeah.
Well, so this is gonna be it. You know what, Akio, you just have to mediate here, right? You're the moderator now.
I'm going to. Let's hear both sides first.
Cool. I absolutely despise this question. Never ask me this question. If someone to ask me this question, I would just walk away. Like legit, they could be sitting across the table making eye contact, and I'll just get up and walk away, right? And the later
what do you bring to the table?
And that's it for today's episode of Local Chat.
So, the later you ask this question, the worse it is, right? Because when I hear that question, it's like an interview question. You know, in those that interviews, they like, why should we hire you? Or why do you want to work here, right? Why do you want to work here? Because I want the money, bro. Like, what else is there, right? So, like, my question, when someone asks me that question, what do you bring to the table? And especially it's later on, is they're basically asking me, why should I like you? What is there to like about you? And I'm like, if you talk to me for like 6 months and you still don't know why you should like me, I think, you know, we should just cut our losses, you know, save this time and walk like we're good. You know, you could come play Tekken with me, right? Follow my Twitch, I'll talk back. But like, this ain't working out, right? It's a horrible, like, that's what you asked.
That's way too long.
Why should I like you?
That's too long.
6 months.
Nobody should be asking that question 6 months.
But even right away, like for example, you said you were warm and friendly and whatnot. I understood that about you.
Am I?
Like, yeah, you are.
So
like
far,
the second conversation, I'm like, oh, she has a warm personality, right? I figured that out within 2 or 3 conversations, right? If you're actually investing in someone to marry them and they can't figure that out about you in like the 3rd conversation, were they even listening to you? Were they even talking to you, right? And then like to ask that right away, well, I don't know, we just met on the first day. How am I supposed to tell you what you should like about me? Maybe I want you to like me because I'm a gamer and you like me because I used to be a chaplain, I'm religious, right? It's like, it's not gonna work, right? That's a dumb question. I despise this question.
I think going off of what you just said, we can even like turn this question, and instead of like, what do you bring to the table? We can make it, what do you bring to the table? So when you're in a relationship with somebody for 6 months, tell that person what you think they bring to the table. What are you taking from their table? Right?
This is a great feedback question. If you guys separate, it's like, hey, what did I bring to the table before we separate?
What did I bring to the table?
So that is a question I asked before my divorce, right? I'm not going to share that answer, but I do think if you're going through marriage, you're trying to get married, right? I'm really trying to avoid the word dating because we're Muslim, right? But it is what it is, right? Sure. If you're dating for 6 months, I think a great question is, hey, why do you like me?
Yeah.
Right? And I think the response, it may not be the response you wanted, right? If you're looking for a specific response, like, I hope he says this about me, right?
Yeah.
But listen to the response the guy gives you, right? Or the girl gives you. I think you will, it is kind of fishing for a compliment, but I think you will be very surprised on what people like about you. People told me what they liked about me. I'm like, really? That's what you like about me, right? Someone recently said, "Oh, I loved your abrasiveness. You're just blunt, right?" I was in a an argument. I was just at 10, right, with my
Mhm.
abrasiveness, and they're like, "Oh no, I found you hilarious when you talk like that." I'm like, "Really?" So like this person actually liked my abrasiveness, right? They found it
Mhm.
funny. So it's really you get to learn about yourself as well as them, but you get
Yeah.
to learn more about yourself, that there are things, because a lot of us feel like we're not good enough, but there
Mhm.
are, when you ask that question, you find out that I am good enough. There are things that I thought were horrible about myself, but people like it, right?
Oh yeah,
So to
absolutely.
go piggyback off of that, I like that question a lot only because I'm filtering out, do you like me because of me, or do you like me because of how I make you feel? It's like
Mm-hmm.
if
Mhm.
you're coming at me and saying like, "Oh, I love how like, you know, you make me feel this or that, blah blah blah," but it's like we live in a selfish world and everyone to some extent is self-centered or like very
Mhm.
self-interested. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like what am I doing where it's like it's not actually about you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you
Mhm.
like me for me, not what I can do for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And
Um.
I think it's a little bit of both, because like
Yeah.
we're going to be selfish anyway, right? We can't completely ignore that part of ourselves. But like it's almost like, if you're going to ask what do you do for me, I think we should specify, what do you do for me that I can't get somewhere else,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because if I'm with you because you make the roundest rotis, then I can get those from the restaurant, right? So why do I need to be with you? So what
Yeah.
am I getting from you that is unique to you, right? Why do I need you instead of, because like if anyone holds my hand, I'm happy, right? I
Mm-hmm.
can get that anywhere. But if I have someone special who's holding my hand and it's a different feeling, they're giving me something that I can't get anywhere else. And I think
Yeah.
that's what's
Yeah.
important.
Yeah.
Right. And it goes back to how do people add value to our lives? And like
Hmm.
as I get older, I'm like, I'm already at a baseline happiness level.
Hmm.
So if you're not elevating my level, do I want to be with you? No.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like I'm fine. I have my cat.
But to see like if the person likes you for you, or uh the way you phrased it, you were asking that
Mhm.
question to see if they like you for you, or the what you do for them, right? I don't think
Yep.
that's necessarily a bad thing. If someone says, "Oh, I like you because you make me feel warm and
Yeah.
fuzzy,"
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's fine. Then ask them, "What do I do that makes you feel like that?" Right? And then
Hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
could expand, like the way you talk, the way you do this, the way your
Yeah.
mannerisms, I think it's a wonderful thing to learn about yourself, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
One thing, when you're asking questions, you want to legit get to know them. And this is another issue with why I hate these type of questions. You want to get to know them for them. You don't, if ask a direct question. A lot of people
Hmm.
ask you, "What's your 5-year plan?" And then you will say, "Oh, I want to buy investment property." And then they'll say, "Oh, so he's not thinking about kids." It's like what?
Yeah.
Right? Like
No.
ask the question you want the information for.
Yeah.
Right? Is my
Ask
thing.
specific questions, get specific
Yeah.
answers.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
absolutely it. But it's also like, we need to be cognizant of why we're asking these questions. Why are we looking for these things? Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's something that we need to work on for ourselves, like, am I just getting into a relationship because I'm lonely or because I feel like I have low self-esteem? That's something that I need to work on my own. Right. Or am I getting in a relationship to have that sort of stability, to have like a reason to smile in the morning, or because I cook too much food, I don't know how to measure, and I need somebody to feed, right? Zane's
Dang.
looking
I
at me
like
like
that
that's a
one.
terrible reason to get married.
No, I was thinking like, why is that bad? Like, if you
It's
just
not
want to get
bad.
married because you're lonely and you
Yeah,
want if someone likes to bake, I know a lot of people who just
yeah,
bake and throw away food. They stress bake. I know a lot of people stress eat. Like, yeah,
right.
like
But
what's
like, if
wrong,
no, no,
right?
no, that was the example of the good thing, right?
Yeah.
Because I have something that I do, something that's a part of
Mhm.
me that I want to share with someone else. I think
Mhm.
that's a good reason to be in a relationship,
Okay.
right?
Yeah. Like if you have love to give and you want to give it, you're literally looking for someone that you can share your love with.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you're like in a love debt, right? If you don't love yourself enough to make it through the day, I think that's a less good reason to get into a relationship.
Yeah. Like when you find people that truly like hate themselves, but they're like in these relationships, it's so obvious. Like I feel like your heart, the way your heart's condition is, it comes out in like everything you do, whether like how you talk, how you feel, how you think. Like if you're thinking other people are going to do bad things to you, I mean, like that's not necessarily true. So
absolutely. And you can see it in the long term as well. Some people that I see that go from like relationship to relationship to relationship to relationship, because that's the only place where they get their self-worth, is when somebody's spoon feeding it to them. And that can be very dangerous. That's like fertile ground for abusive relationships.
Yeah. And that's when people start asking stupid questions. But let's move on to confession time. What confession were we doing today?
We are number 76. Ladies, 76. Men know within 6 months of courting if they love you. What are your thoughts?
Like what? Okay, first initial thought is I heard the pop science growing up of like men know within the first 7.5 seconds if they want to. But like so maybe I'm just missing something on the verbiage of this confession. But like, why are they courting for 6 months if they don't love you?
Yeah. Most guys will not do that back and forth, right? Because here's the thing, guys are really stupid in this, and this is something I gotta advise my brothers, right? Like we go hard and fast, right? Like first 7 seconds, we're already committed. First 7 seconds, right?
First 7 seconds, I've already named our children. It's fine.
We're already committed. Yo, we're everywhere. The thing is, if your guy isn't committed to you in the first 7 seconds, he does not like you. I'm gonna be very honest there, right? Because like most guys I've met, first like they'll meet girls and they'll court them 3 months, 4 months. When they find the one they like, all us other guys are like, bro, you like her, and they'll be like, no. And we're like, first 7 seconds you knew, bro. First 7 seconds you knew, and then they get married, and we're like, bro, why were you lying to all of us, right? And it's like you right away. And this is the advice for the brothers, just backing up. We start simping real fast in 7 seconds. We start planning we start making scenarios in our head how we're going to be romantic with the person when they're not even like that because we've only met them for 7 seconds, right? So brothers need to slow down, right? I think brothers have an over-committal problem. So, my bad.
Even for like, in my personal experience, it was like, in first 7 seconds with the person that I like right now, first 7 seconds, which was like 10 years ago, I decided that this person is out of my league and I'm not going to talk to them. And then I didn't talk to them for 7 years. and then we started talking again and I'm like, okay, how do I marry this person? Immediately, how do I marry this person?
And brothers gotta slow down. We gotta stop going there, right? Because we've made a fake person of who we think that person is, right? So for my advice to the brothers is, and to the ladies is, we know, but the thing is, we made a fake person in our head. So we need the time to actually know the real you and not the fake person of the you that we made in our head. So brothers gotta slow down.
It's not only slow down, because slowing down easier said than done, but like, I don't know if this applies to the sisters, but to the brothers, externalize your simp. If you fall for someone, it's gonna suck, but tell them as soon as you can.
You got no, I gotta disagree with you.
Listen. Okay. Hear me out, and then you can disagree. Okay. Tell them, gauge how they're feeling, right? If they feel the same way, great, fine, move forward with that. If they're not, then you can have that conversation, right? Because if you don't have that conversation, if you keep your simp inside your head, every little thing that they do, whether they realize it or not, is going to make that grow, right?
Okay, I'll take that.
But if you're working on it together, then if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't go somewhere, then that's the healthy way to not go somewhere, instead of just keeping it bottled up and letting it grow and grow and grow until it explodes and you do something real stupid.
Cool. I think I heard Katniss. which is Kiki's cat. Maybe she was agreeing with you. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So my thing is time it, right? Don't say that in the first 7 seconds. Don't externalize your simp, as you said in the first 7 seconds. Don't do that.
Not in the first 7 seconds. But
yeah, because you're just gonna scare her.
Yeah,
that's a no.
It takes a while. It takes a while to plant the seed. Like seed goes in the ground in the first 7 seconds. Once it sprouts, then address it.
Yeah, maybe in what this girl says, 6 months in the confession, right? I'm assuming it's a woman who said this. Maybe in 6 months, then externalize and be like, hey, we've been talking. I'm externalizing my simp now, right?
I think this is a brother sending in this confession. He's talking to the ladies. Ladies,
I don't think it takes that long.
I don't think it takes that long.
I feel so like when men meet a girl for the first time, say they've been talking on the phone for a little bit and now they're like going on their in-person coffee date, whatever. They know in that conversation like whether or not they want to move forward with you as like, hey, I see this person as a potential spouse, or okay, I'll string this along, or like I'll see where this goes. But you have to know when you meet that person, like, yes, this is like we clicked. Or we didn't click. Like, you know if you clicked or not.
Yeah.
And whether if you like prolong it, that's just like you're just dragging someone with you, but it's not for the right reasons.
Yeah. So by 6 months, both of you should know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
and should be on more or less the same page about it, right? We're not surprising anyone after 6 months, because that's what happened to me. Is I met someone and I thought there was something, but like their hints were a little bit too subtle. So I'm like, oh, they're just a nice person. Right. And then I think it was around 6 or 7 months later, they're like, hey, this could have been something. And I mean, what do you mean could have been something? And because at that point, like I said, I move every 2 or 3 years. So I was on my way out of the country, not to come back. And they're like, oh, this could have been something. I'm like, we should have had this conversation 6 months ago. Yeah,
that was an opportunity missed.
It was an opportunity missed.
No, I don't even think it was. Nah, I think they were trying to do some shade. I don't know this person. You know them better, but that sounds kind of shady. That sounds kind of shady. Like, why does this person then like you're on your way out? Right, I feel like that's committal issue. Right now, they can share their feelings because now they're comfortable. They just want to get this off your chest. Dump it on you. What they've been feeling. Yeah. So while you're on your way and can't come back, like that's how I feel.
No, that wasn't. I should have phrased that better. That wasn't a dump. That was a conversation that we had.
Right? Oh, okay.
That was us coming together to talk about it. But like, for the brothers at least, the gears are turning from 7 seconds to 6 months. The gears are turning.
Yeah.
But if we don't talk about that, if we don't share about that, that is going to go off the rails, right? If you're courting someone for 6 months, that how you feel about each other needs to be an open and ongoing conversation. You need to be on the same page.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like everyone's just wasting. We're all like, everyone is just not us, but maybe us. I don't know. Everyone is enjoying wasting everyone's time, and it just continues. The cycle continues. One person gets heartbroken, then they become emotionally unavailable, then they meet someone nice, but then they are not available, and it just continues. And it's
I will say this: just stop wasting time. And this is for my sisters, right? The thing is, with brothers, we already know in the first 7 seconds, right? Now, if this is dragging on, right, you're courting and you don't know, you start the conversation. You start with your feelings, right? A lot of girls are like, no, I don't want to put myself out there. If you start the conversation, if the guy is on the fence and he doesn't know if he likes you or not, or like, because you're not giving the proper signs, if you simply ask or just start the conversation, hey, I like you, what do you feel? Guaranteed right there and then you got the brother. Brother absolutely loves you, right?
If he's on the
girl
fence,
initiates,
you say
done.
one word and he's on your side of the fence.
Right? He is on your side of the fence.
If he's not on the fence, you say one word and he'll hopefully be polite about it, inshallah. But like you'll know after that conversation that it wasn't an option for him, right?
And if he says he needs more time, walk away.
Yeah, he doesn't need more time.
Yeah, like if he says he needs more time, that means he wasn't on the fence to begin with.
Now on time. Hold on. If it's fake to know if you're the one, he's wasting your time. But if it's like, I need more time to get this settled so we could get married. Like I need more time to establish my career, right? Yeah. Or I need more time to build this investment property or get my house. I get that, right? But I need more time. I'm not sure how I feel about you. He don't like you.
No,
like, I'm sorry, sister.
not.
Like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
He's gently putting you down, right? It's good. But to save
Quiet
time,
quitting.
girl, quiet quitting, sure.
Quiet quitting.
And guys have like what I'll say for the sisters, that'll save you time. You just start the conversation. Hey, I like you. Let him know you like him. Most of the time, because guys, we barely get a compliment. If you say you like him, that's you're in his good graces, right? It is what it is. And if the guy says, think about it, it's like, nah. On the flip side, if my brothers start the conversation, this is my advice to sisters. If you reject him, just say, sorry, I'm not into you. Do not give him an excuse. Don't give him an excuse.
The Sakara excuse. Every guy has heard this. I made a Sakara, and the Sakara came out wrong, or my parents made this Sakara and it came out wrong.
It's not, I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about, like, if you make an excuse, like for example, I know guys, right? Like, if the sister's like, you know what, I like you, but I don't like long distance. You live too far, and I don't want to relocate. Even though that man cannot, he will move, and then you actually don't like him, and he moved for you. So don't lie. Don't lie like that, being like, oh, I'm not into long distance, because he will move for you, right? He'll take that, oh, that's your excuse for not marrying me. Let me take that excuse away. Yeah. When in reality, you just weren't into him. So just tell him I'm not into you, so he doesn't move for you.
Because we're natural problem solvers. If you say this is the reason why we can't do this, then we will fix that reason.
Yes.
So just say straight up no, right?
Yeah.
Not right now. Not I need more time. Not this reason, that reason, this excuse, that excuse. No, we will destroy every single excuse. Inshallah.
So sisters, please say no. Just say no. I'm not into you. Do not give excuses. And brothers, don't ask why she's saying no. Just move on with your life. She says no, she's not into you, because everything's subjective. Some person will say, I'm not into you because you're playing video games. And another person will say, yo, I love the fact you play video games. That's your hobby. That's mine too. I want you, right? It's all subjective.
I'm gonna add some nuance. Ask why. Just to be careful, just ask why. If there's a problem, work on that problem, right? If you ask why and she doesn't give you a reason, or she doesn't give you a good enough reason, leave it.
Peace out.
Be careful, because brothers be like, because I know some brothers, they'll be like, I quit gaming for 8 years because my wife didn't like it. I'm just like, bro, that's like a part of yourself, right? I don't know. Be careful. I'll say be careful about that.
There's a balance. I think everything with like finding a partner and like having a partner and like all of our likes and dislikes, there's a balance. Like, if a guy is going out every night, staying out till 3 a.m, once he's married, like, he should know himself, like, he probably has to adjust that. Like, that's just not going to work for the marriage. Yeah. But it's not like he can't do that at all. It's just like, there's a check and balance system. Like, okay, I'll go on the weekend, or like something, or like, I'll take my wife along with me. Why is it like I'm just doing it by myself? We should all be independently doing the things we like, as well as finding things to do together. Yeah. But balance.
Absolutely. Balance it.
Fair
and
enough.
On that note,
balanced.
It is Ramadan, and we're about to break our fast. I don't know about you in Calgary, but
I still got 2.5 more hours.
Nah, me and Kiki gotta eat. We done.
Hey, thank you so much for joining us on episode 2 of Local Chai. We will see you next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye, guys.